This video is brought to you by Power Performance Products, where you can get $10 off your purchase of Body Storm and Body Effects.
Nick Diaz, though, is something that would interest you guys?
Dude, it would interest the fans. It would interest the fans. That's what it's about. It doesn't matter if it interests me. It matters if it interests the fans. And if the fans are interested in it, they're going to make the fight.
You don't think the fans are interested in Chris Weidman?
Honestly, do you?
I'd be interested to see that one. I would, but I don't know if the fans are.
Dude, I don't think that is going to be a big pay-per-view. Taking nothing away from Chris Weidman, dude. He's a tough opponent. He's awesome. He's a great guy. I have nothing personally against him. He's a tough guy, but I mean, dude, I just think he's just not a, I just don't. I don't think so. I mean, but really, who do you think? I don't really know. I don't really know right now. You know what I mean?
Do you think fans would be more interested in Silva fighting Nick Diaz and Jon Jones?
Oh, I definitely think so. I think more people would be interested in that fight. You know?
Do you think Jon Jones is the toughest fight?
Jon Jones is a tough fight, but George St. Pierre is a tough fight too, man. They're both tough fighters, But when you look at Anderson's stats, he's closer to George St. Pierre's stats as far as size, as far as reach, as far as age, as far as everything. So he's closer. There's less difference in weight, in height, and reach, and all that. Maybe in height, it might be similar, a little bit closer to Jon Jones, but in every other way, in weight and everything like that, George St. Pierre is closer to Anderson than Jon Jones is to Anderson.
But Anderson has fought at 205 more recently than he has dropped down in weight. So, I mean, it seems like that would be the more sensible thing would be to go up.
Yeah.
Because he's been there.
Yeah, he's been there, but he's also been at 170. He's fought at 168.
So, if that fight were to happen, would you be in favor of George moving up in weight or Anderson moving down?
Dude, maybe a catch weight. Maybe a catch weight would be the right thing. I think a catch weight is fair. You know what I mean?
What would be a fair weight, you think, catch weight?
Man, whatever, 178?
Yeah.
You said did you say that you think Anderson can make 170?
Anderson told me he can make 170. Whether he can or not, I don't know. That's a lot of weight. Yeah, it is.
You mentioned drawing power in GSP being a bigger draw than Jon Jones, but isn't Jon Jones a bigger draw than Nick Diaz? And you said the Nick Diaz fight was a good idea.
Yeah, it could have been. All I said was the idea of it is kind of good. Let's see what the UFC has to say. Dude, it doesn't matter what I think. I don't know why sometimes it's like you guys ask my opinion, then I say my opinion, and then everyone turns it into fact and tries to make it seem like I'm calling. Dude, I've never called anybody out. I never called out Nick Diaz. I never called out GSP. I never said. I'm just saying. I'm just saying what happens is. What did I say exactly?
It said on Twitter. You said you think Anderson Silva, Nick Diaz is a good idea, and that's what I'm asking.
Read what I said exactly.
I think the idea of Spider Silva versus Nick Diaz is pretty good. Let's see what the UFC thinks.
Yeah.
That's what
it is pretty good. You don't think it's a pretty good option?
I think Nick Diaz coming off a loss, fighting the middleweight champion. I think as a middleweight champion, he should defend his title. And I don't know if that's viable to have Nick Diaz fighting.
Oh, so you think so you're saying that as a middleweight champion he should defend his title?
Yeah.
Then why do you want him to go up and fight Jon Jones?
I
think it would make sense.
Heavyweight title fight because he's the best fighter in the world. Best at 185 fighting for the light heavyweight title.
But why should? But what I'm saying, but why is it our problem? Why is it our problem that they can't find a competitor to make a big fight at 185 pounds? Why is that? So that's like saying, you know what, man, you're this, so you should go and do this.
I think there are fights at 185.
Where?
Chris Weidman. I think the winner of the Brian Stann-Michael Bisping fight.
Hey, dude,
Silva has mentioned Michael Bisping before.
Yeah, he has mentioned that. Bro, it doesn't make a difference. That's what I'm saying. This whole talk is nonsense because you could say what you want. I could say what I want. I don't think Chris Weidman is a good. Not that he's not deserving of it. What is the benefit for Anderson Silva to fight Chris Weidman? Tell me what the benefit is. Let me just tell you. He goes out there and destroys him. People are going to say that's what he was supposed to do. Chris Weidman goes out there and does good for him, does good against him for 3 rounds. Then Chris Weidman's this great guy. It's like it's a no-win situation for us.
It's high risk, low reward.
It's high risk.
But don't you feel like then, don't you feel like anyone except Jon Jones is like that pretty much in a way? I mean, because he's going down to fight a smaller guy if he's fighting Nick or GSP and not somebody at 85.
Fighting people who are saying, some people are saying George St. Pierre until Jon Jones. I mean, listen, Jon Jones is a phenomenal athlete too, but I think before Jon Jones, they start saying Jon Jones is the greatest of all time and the greatest fighter. I think he has a little bit more to prove. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a lot more things. And like I said the other day, taking nothing away from Chris Weidman, because I think he's a talented fighter. I think he's well-rounded. I think he's a good person. He's a good representative of the sport. But when you really look at it, he's got more title defenses, Anderson, in the UFC than Chris Weidman has fights in his career. So with that being said, it's just kind of a tough thing to swallow, man. I just don't see the advantage of it. But it doesn't make a difference. It really doesn't make a difference, because if the UFC says that's who he's going to fight, Anderson's going to fight. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that. That's just the fact. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes people try to turn around what I said. I'm asking for I'm asking for big fights, man. I'm asking for big fights, and that's it. And that's it.
In your opinion,
Do I think Jon Jones and Anderson Silva would be a big fight? I do think it's a big fight. Number one, Jon Jones says he doesn't want the fight, and Anderson says he doesn't want to do the fight. What is it for Jon Jones? What is it going to do for Jon Jones to go down there and if he loses? It's going to ruin him. I mean, if he goes, if Anderson Silva moves up in weight and beats Jon Jones, here's a lighter guy that's going to come up and take my title? Come on, dude.
This video has been brought to you by ProBoxingSupplies.com, where you can get 25% off your purchase now.